22 in geometry, and it is Wednesday, September 10th. Okay, so yesterday we learned the area and circumference formulas for a circle. Now, area for circles is exactly the same as last unit. We're talking about the space that the shape takes up. What is circumference related to? We don't call it circumference when we're talking about a quadrilateral. What is that distance around the shape? Perimeter. It's like the perimeter, yes. So, we're really finding just a length for circumference. Area is going to be in squared units. So here's those formulas again in case we forgot. Area is pi times radius squared. Circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 times pi times radius. So for number 1, I gave you a diameter of 28 inches. How can I use that to find the area? The radius is half of it. Yes. First, I need to know what the radius is because there's no diameter in the area formula. And you said it's half of the diameter, so we could just divide by 2. And what would our radius be? 14. Okay, so now we can find area. Area is pi times 14 squared. So let's see. Second, pi 14 squared. And we get an approximate answer of 615.75. And what would my units be? Inches squared. Inches squared. Now remember, because this is not an exact answer, it's approximate, we will put that little tilde at the end to show that it's not exact. What would my exact area be? How would I write that? Do we remember? Any ideas? Yes. 196 times pi. Perfect. Perfect. So if we want an exact answer, we just don't put pi in the calculations. We just write pi. So I'm just doing radius squared, 14 squared. That would be 196 pi inches squared. Wonderful. Okay, and what would my circumference be? How do I find that? It's pi times pi times 28. Pi times diameter. And we get 87.96 approximately. What would my units be? Inches. Inches. So I add that little tilde at the end. And what would my exact circumference be? Exact circumference. Anybody know? Yes. 28 pi inches. Beautiful. 28 pi inches. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So that is number 1. Let's look at number 2. Now I'm giving you a radius. So how would I find area? Yes. Let's see, pi 25 squared, and that gives me approximately 1,963.495408. I would round this up to 0.50. So 1963.50 square feet this time, approximately. And then for exact, we'll take radius squared. That's 25 squared. We just won't include pi. So 625 pi feet squared. There we go. How about circumference?
Pi times 50 because the diameter is twice the size of the
Yes, the radius is 25 feet. Take that times 2 and we get a diameter of 50 feet. So 50 times pi, which is approximately 157.08 feet. So we'll put the tilde because it's only approximate. And our exact circumference would be 50 pi feet. Okay. Yes, that's that. We've just done number 1 and 2. Okay, before we go on to number 3 and 4, does anybody have questions about any part of numbers 1 and 2? Okay. We will go on to 3 and 4 then. I'll leave those up so you can see them. So for number 3 and number 4, we have angles inside of a circle. Now, yesterday I taught you about 2 specific types of angles. We talked about central angles and inscribed angles. Is number 3 a central angle or an inscribed angle? Not sure. Look back at your notes. Number 3, is that central or inscribed? Anybody? Thank you. It is an inscribed angle. So we know a few things about inscribed angle. That outer arc that is 55 degrees has a relation to this angle X. How can I use that outer angle, 55 degrees, to find X? What did I do?
So, have 55.
Yes, yes. So if we remember with inscribed angles, that's whenever we have an angle that goes all the way to one end of a circle on the inside, and we could call that angle A. The arc, which is this section right here, the arc of the circle is measured in degrees as well, and its relation to that angle would be 2A. So you're correct. We could find x by taking 55 and splitting it in half, because I know that 55 is 2 times x. So to solve for x, we'll just divide by 2. So
27.5.
27.5. Good. Yes, we just do 55 divided by 2, 27.5. Perfect. Angle x is 27.5. And number 4 should be even easier. This is not an inscribed angle anymore. This is a central angle. If the outer arc here is 48 degrees, what's that central angle?
48.
Yes, it's also 48 degrees. It's equal. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I will leave that up for just a moment. And if there's anything you need to copy down or questions you might have, I'll give you another minute to ask those, but we're going to take some notes after this. We're going to talk a little bit more about central angles and arcs and how we can use that in context. So I'm going to pause this, and I am going to pass out a worksheet with some examples that we'll run through together. All right, so I am putting this to the side, and we are going to take a peek at this worksheet that all of you have. And we are going to be talking today about arcs and central angles. So you're going to see a few different things on here, and we will take a few notes to kind of help us with this. Notice that sometimes on this worksheet, you'll see something like measure of angle GJF. Then on number 3, you'll see something different. Whenever you see this little arch above 3 letters, this is talking about the measure of an arc. This is just how we write it. So let's take a quick note about how we name these. And we can really do that note here on this worksheet. So the measure of angle GJF. We're using these letters to name our angles and our points and our arcs. So if G comes first, I'm going to look for G. It's right here. J is next. There's J in the middle. F is last right here. So we're talking about this angle here. Our directions tell us to find the measure of the arc or the central angle that's indicated. Assume that the lines which appear to be diameters are actual diameters. So I'm trying to find the measure of this angle, GJF. We could mark it like that if we wanted to. This is where we need to think back to our old angle relationships that we've been talking about since Unit 1. Are there any angles in this circle that I do already know? Or any arcs?
But J and H have a 180.
F, J, and H. Yes, that is 180 degrees, so we could mark that. So FJH would be this here. That is 180. Are there any other things we might know? Are we given any measures?
Oh, 66.
We are. We're given 66. It was hiding. So we've got 66 degrees for this arc HI.
Isn't it 66 because they're across from each other?
Yes. Okay, so you got it right on the head. This arc is 66 degrees, which means this central angle, HJI, is also 66 degrees. So we'll mark that HJI. So I know that this is 66 degrees, and thinking back to our angle relationships, that angle is right across from the one that we want, GJF, right here, the green angle. Those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are equal. So GJF must also be 66 degrees. Because they are vertical angles. Be our number one. So let's look at number two.
Would that be 90 because R, Q, and S is a 90-degree angle, so I'm right below.
You're so right. You're so correct. That is good. So I'm going to walk us through this one just because not all of us would recognize that immediately. I want to find the measure of angle SQT. So the first thing I would do is mark what we're trying to find. Here's S, Q's in the middle, T is right there. So this is the angle I'm trying to find. We know that angle RQS is 90 degrees because it has that red box. We also know, because the directions say that these lines that go all the way across, you can assume that it is a diameter, meaning it goes all the way across for sure. And a circle is 360 degrees. So this here is half of a circle and must be 180 degrees. If I know 90 degrees out of the 180, I also know 90 plus 90 is 180, so this other angle must be 90. So angle SQT is 90 degrees because it is a supplementary angle. They add up to 180. They form a straight line. So there is number two. So now we will go ahead and look at number three. Does anybody need to see 1 and 2, or does anyone have questions about either one? I'm happy to wait a minute. Speak now or it's moving. Okay. All right, number 3. Now I want to find the measure of the arc named IJL. So let's find that. Here is I, here is J, here is L. So I'm going to highlight the part that I'm looking for. I want I to J all the way to L. I want to know how many degrees this whole arc is. What do I know? What is given to me? The 119 degrees.
Whole circle is 360.
Yes, and the whole circle is 360. So right here, my central angle that is marked is 119 degrees. And I know that these angles, all 4 of them, will add up to 360. So the 3 angles remaining are the 3 angles that are equal to this arc that goes all the way around. So if we just solve for the measure of the remaining angles, then we also have the measure of the remaining arcs. So I know that a circle is 360 degrees. Just subtract 119. Good. Which is 241. Okay. 241 degrees. Okay, so we'll say the measure of I, J, L, the arc, is 241 degrees. Now we'll look at number 4. Now I want to find the measure of angle EHC. Here's E, here's H, here's C.
Just add those two together.
That's it. We just add these 2 angles together. They gave us an easy one. They gave us an easy one. I know that EHD is 43. I know that DHC is 71. Those 2 angles added together gives me EHC. So let's see, 43 plus 71. I got 114. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So angle EHC is 114 degrees. Okay, so that was a few warm-up problems. Before we move on to more complicated things, do we have any questions? Any at all? Let's scoot this down then, and we are going to look. Let's see, there's a few more practice problems just like that. Numbers 5 through 10 are similar to what's on the front. But then if we move forward to page 3, number 11, we're adding some variables in. So let's try one of those. Let's look at 11. Right now, for number 11, they want to know the measure of the arc named QR. So let's find QR. QR is right here. It's -8 plus 6x. So I'm going to just make a note of that. QR equals -8 plus 6x. What do I know other than QR?
14x plus.
I know 14x plus 8. That's another angle. So let's highlight that and see if anything comes to light here. So this arc right here, QU, is 14x plus 8. Yes, 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 yes. These two angles and arcs add up to 180 degrees because they make a straight line. So I know that when I add these two together, they equal 180 degrees. So
You're gonna write.
I'm going to write an equation. Good, 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 good. I know QR plus QU equals 180. So let's just plug our values in. Let me write that simple equation first. QR plus QU equals 180. So let's plug in our values. What would be my actual equation I'm writing here? What is QR?
Be -8 plus 6x
Perfect.
plus 14x plus 8 equals 180.
Yes, so I'm just plugging in QR, which is -8 plus 6x, plus QU, which is 14x plus 8, and I'm bringing down equals 180. And now we're just going to solve for x. What can I do in this equation first?
Five like terms.
Combine like terms. Good. What like terms do I have?
14x and 6x, and also -8 and +8.
Ah, okay, so 14x and 6x, when I add those together, we should get 20x. And what happens with my -8 and +8? What's -8 plus 8? It's 0. -8 plus 8 is 0. Would it make sense for me to bring that down and write +0? It would make sense. Honestly, it would make sense because that's what happens when I add -8 and +8. But it's an extra step that you don't necessarily need. If you don't feel comfortable saying that they just cancel, you can absolutely bring down +0, but you do not have to. So I'm just going to bring down 20x for the comfort of everybody. Let's just write that +0 for fun. Equals 180. And I know that that 0 is going to disappear. I'll just cross it off at this step.
And then you divide it by 20.
Yep, divide by 20.
You get x equals 1.
And I get x equals, what'd you say? 9. Good. So is the measure of the arc QR 9? Oh, thank you. Nope, we just found x. We also need to find QR. We're going to plug that in and find QR. So QR is -8 plus 6x. So instead of x, we'll use 9. -8 plus 6 times 9.
46.
That's the final answer? Okay, I haven't done it yet. 6 times 9, 54 minus 8. Yep, 46. Perfect. So we're doing order of operations. We do multiplication first. 6 times 9 is 54. I bring down my -8 plus 54, and that will give us 46 for QR. There we go. It always gets a little more involved when you add variables in, but we know how to do these things. Just takes a little thinking sometimes. So, recap. We needed to find QR. I saw that it was -8 plus 6x, so I labeled that. I saw that I also know QU is 14x plus 8, and I saw that those two arcs make up half of the circle, which is 180 degrees. So I knew that I could add them together and set them equal to 180. Then we just plugged in those values, solved for x, and then we used x to find our value for QR. Any questions or confusion about that problem? Let's do another one. Now I'm wanting for number 12 to find the measure of angle TPU. So let's see. TPU.
But you just do the same thing that you did in the last one.
Yeah, you totally can. You can totally do the same thing as last one. TPU is x plus 83. I also know that UPQ is 113 plus x. Okay. So I also see that this is half the circle. It's 180 degrees. So we're just going to set up an equation just like in number 11. First, I'm going to label all these. UPQ equals 113 plus x. TPU is x plus 83. And I see that this is a straight line. It goes right through the middle of the circle. So that must be 180 degrees. So we know that UPQ plus TPU equals 180. So same as last time. We're going to set up an equation. UPQ plus TPU equals 180.
Yeah, 13 plus x plus 83 equals 180.
Yes, 113 plus x for UPQ plus x plus 83 for TPU. Bring down my equals 180.
Combine my terms, we'll get x plus 196 equals 180.
Good. We're going to combine like terms. X and x give me 2x. And then 113 plus 83, what'd you say that was? Good, 196 equals 180.
Subtract 196.
Good, now we just subtract 196.
That 2x equals negative 16.
2x equals, you said negative 60, 16.
Divided by 2.
Divide by 2.
Get negative 8.
Good. X equals negative 8. Are we finished?
Plug it in.
No, we got to plug it in. Angle TPU is x plus 83. So, negative 8 plus 83.
Which is 75
Which is 75
degrees.
degrees. Here we go.
Have you seen Coraline?
Mm-hmm.
I have the jumping mice thing playing in my head now.
Oh my gosh. I wish you wouldn't have said that because now it's playing in my head.
It's on TV. It's gonna be on TV.
So good.
But I'll face the test with it.
Ah.
Yeah, that's all I heard.
Yeah, now it's in my head too. Okay, so 11 and 12 were super, super similar. We had supplementary angles in both of them. Both of them, we could add them together and set them equal to 180. But that's not going to be how every single problem is. We'll check 13 next and see what we might have to do differently.
I don't like 13.
You know, I don't really either. 13 looks kind of scary.
That's a lot of crap that I have to do.
Now, before we move on to number 13, I see a few more people still writing. So I'm going to leave this up for a minute and let everybody kind of soak it in, write the notes. And when you finish writing, sometimes your questions don't really come into your brain until after you finish. It takes minutes to process. So please ask questions if you're unsure what's going on in any part of this. Pause it for just a minute while everybody catches up. All right. Let's move to 13. Now we have something that looks crazy. Let's just start one step at a time. That's what we always do. Number 13, I'm looking for the measure of the arc labeled VU. So I'm going to highlight that. VU is x plus 82. Now, I don't see any straight lines going all the way through to give me a nice 180 degrees.
But you do have a nice 360.
I do have a nice 360. That's the beauty of circles. There's always 360 degrees. And the beauty of this problem is every angle and every arc is labeled. So
wouldn't you just put yada 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 equals 360?
yes, I know that I can add every single one of these values together.
See, that's less scary.
You're right, and they equal 360. So it looks scary at first until you really see what you have and what we need to find it. So let's add everything together. This will be a big problem. I'm going to start with that x plus 82. So I have x plus 82. And then I'm going to go clockwise around. So my next one is that minus 40x. Minus 40x. What would I write next?
Negative 28.
Yep, minus 20x. Then I'll
Plus
do
x plus 42.
good. Plus x plus 42. And one last. One.
Minus 60.
Minus 60x.
Equals 360.
Equals 360. Good.
Okay, first thing you need to do is add up all the negative x's.
Yeah, we got to combine some like terms here. What I'm going to do, because this is such a long problem, is I'm going to go ahead and circle every single term with x's in it. So I have x minus 40x minus 20x. I have another x. I have minus 60x. I'm going to stack these all up and put them together.
So when you add all of the negatives from first, you get
Yes.
negative 120.
Okay, so yes, let's do that. We've got negative 40x plus negative 20x plus negative 60x. I'm going to cross them out as I go. And I add those together, and you said negative 120? Okay, so negative 120x.
And then you want to add positives.
Yes, and we
which
have
would be negative 18x.
x plus x. And you're correct, by the way, which is 2x, positive 2x. So now negative 120x plus 2x is negative 118x. So I combined my x's. What other like terms do I have?
82 and 42.
82 and 42. Let's add those together. I got 124, is that right? Perfect. Okay, so I combined all my like terms. What equation will I have now?
Negative 18x plus 140 equals 60.
Yes, negative 118x plus 124 equals 360. We're just bringing everything down. And what would I do next?
Subtract 124.
Good. Subtract 124. $236 equals negative 118x.
And divide by negative.
Good. Divide by negative 118.
Well, then x equals negative 2.
X equals negative 2.
And then you plug that into your original first equation.
Okay,
X plus 8.
perfect. Now, before I plug this back in, this was a big equation. This took a little bit. Do we understand where all that came from? Okay, good. Good. All right, so I got x equals negative 2, and we're trying to solve. I'll come right back down to this. I'm just going to peek up for a second. We're trying to solve the original problem, the measure of VU, which is x plus 82. So we're just going to plug negative 2 in to that x plus 82. So let me write that over here.
Very cool teacher.
Uh-oh.
She was calling to say that it's gonna pick her up because she was sick. I was like, I get it.
And so what would be the measure of VU?
8 degrees.
80 degrees. Good. 80 degrees. Nice. Very nice. And we'll do one more together before I give y'all a break. So now let's look at number 14. Number 14, I'm trying to find the measure of the arc labeled UW, which is this. UW. This is a tricky one. What do I know in this circle? Do I know?
Yes, there is.
I do know three angles. I know. See, we've got some different colors here. I know that this TU is x plus 102. I know UV is x plus 46. I know SW is 134.
Can you do them about 180?
Where?
S and V.
Yes, from S to V, that's a diameter. It's half a circle. So this here is 180. This here is 180 also.
So your equation be x plus 102 plus x plus 46 equals 1. Right?
Say it again.
To include the 134.
So you're saying x plus 102 plus x plus 46 equals what?
180.
Equals 180? Just these two?
Well, the other one, but you don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know this one. I don't really have a variable for it, so I can't do that yet, can I? Can I solve for this one though? For VW? You can.
180 minus 4 is the whole.
Yes. So, guys, this is a tricky one because there's a lot of steps involved. Okay? There's a lot of steps involved here. I need to know what X is but I also need to know what this angle is because I need UW. So before we can do anything, we need to find out what this VW is. And Alexis, you are correct. I know that this half here is 180 degrees. So I know that VW equals 180 minus 34. If we get rid of this bigger chunk, we'll have the leftover. So what is VW?
46.
46.
So your equation would be x plus 102 plus x plus 46 plus 46 equals 180.
You could absolutely do it that way. Yes, you absolutely could. There is another way though. This is tricky because it's a very complicated vertical angle, but x plus 102 plus x plus 46, that whole angle is actually a vertical angle with 134. You see how those would be equal? So you could solve for x that way, but you still have to find that 46 because at the end of the day, we need u to w. So let's do it the way that you suggested, where we're taking, I know TU is x plus 102. And then UV is x plus 46. And then VW is 46. And we can add all three of these together and they're equal to 180. So I'm going to stick these in an equation. X plus 102 plus x plus 46 plus 46 again equals 180. Now that I have all of my values in an equation, where should we go from here? Mine. I've got an X, I've got another X, and that's it. 2X.
And 102 plus 46 plus 46.
Okay,
190.
yes. When you add 102, 46, and 46, you get 194. And I'll just bring down equals 180. And we're almost there.
Subtract 194.
Subtract 194.
Yeah, 2x equals negative 14.
2x equals negative 14.
Divided by 2.
This is not a little.
Negative 7. So then plug in negative 7 for x.
Okay.
So it would be negative 7 plus 46 plus 46.
Negative 7 plus 46 plus 46, because we're trying to find now u to w, which is x plus 46 and 46. So UW equals 85. Let me write down the equation we're doing. We have x plus 46 plus 46, and x is -7. Does in fact give us 85 degrees. And that is our answer. That one was a lot of steps, but we can do it. We can do it. Okay. So that was a lot of really good practice. The time is 10:19. I do want to allow you guys to have a break if you need to use the restroom or get a drink. And we'll just break for about 10 minutes. So we will start back up again at the normal period 2 time, which is 10:30. And you guys are going to do some practice with this on your own. Now, whenever we get back, I want to see you guys doing this, okay? I'm going to pause this recording and be back at 10:30. Okay, you've had a little break, guys, and now I believe we've run through just about every type of scenario we'll run into on this worksheet. Your task for the next, I'm going to say the next good 20 minutes or so, I want you to see if you can do all the rest of the problems. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems left.
Let's skip some problems.
Did I? Oh, what did I skip? Yeah, 5 through 10. So 5 through 10 on page 2, those are kind of more examples where there's no variables. So these are more of the basic ones. So if you want to practice the basics, you can do those. But I want you guys to practice with the variables. So your assignment for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you plenty of time to do this, unless, of course, we all finish early. I need you to do the last 6 problems on this worksheet. Number 15 through 20. Finish these on your own. And I will be checking to see if you do them. Grade it. Okay. So I'm going to pause this recording. Stop it there. Our timer is up, and I see 2 of us finished all of them. That's awesome. As for the rest, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through and give you an answer key. Any of these that you are totally lost on, or you are just not sure, maybe you got a different answer than I did, or maybe you didn't know where to start. You guys, we are adults, guys. We got to be responsible for our learning here, meaning please tell me if you need help, okay? We're going to go through each one. If you would like help or an explanation, please tell me, okay? So we're going to start looking at number 19 or not 19, sorry, number 15. As I walked around the room, I noticed this one in particular gave us quite a bit of trouble. So automatically, we're going to go through it. If you are stuck on this one, please pay attention. So for number 15, I'm trying to find the measure of the arc from R to V. That's this one. And it's labeled as 8x plus 20. Now, the only other arc that I'm given is ST, and it's labeled as 5x minus 1. Just these two angles or arcs is not enough information to solve for anything. But using some markings that I see, what else might I know? I might notice that these two red arcs, what does that mean about the two angles?
Equal.
They're equal. Now, I don't know what TS is, but I do know that it's given a value of 5x minus 1. So what would TU be? Well, if they're the same, it must also be 5x minus 1. So let's go ahead and label that 5x minus 1. Okay. So now I'm looking. Do I have enough information to solve for x now? What do we think?
First, you need to double your 5x minus 1. So
Yes.
2, and then in parentheses, 5x minus 1.
Yes. Okay, so I can set up an equation. I know that I've got two of these 5x minus 1s. So this can be a much quicker way of combining them rather than doing 5x minus 1 plus 5x minus 1. Let's take that times 2. 2 times 5x minus 1. And usually we have a couple of options. Am I going to add that to something and set it equal to something else?
It's going to be equal to 8x plus 20.
Oh, okay. So why is 2 times 5x minus 1 equal to 8x plus 20? These are vertical angles. You can tell they're vertical angles because this is one straight line I can draw, and this is another straight line I can draw. They're creating this X. So this angle here is equal to that angle there. So I know that 2 times 5x minus 1 is equal to 8x plus 20. Okay. At this step, we're going to distribute that 2. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times that minus 1 gives us minus 2, and we'll bring everything down, 8x plus 20. Where would I go from here? I know you did. Your grade reflects it. What would I do?
Subtract 8x.
Let's subtract 8x. Thank you. And x minus 8x is 2x. Minus 2 equals 20. Now what? Yes, you do. Good. We're going to add 2 to both sides. Thank you. So we'll bring everything down. 2x equals 22. And what's my last step?
Divide.
Good. Divide by 2. And we get x equals 11. Wonderful. So I solved for x, but that's not what I need. I need RV. Here's RV. How can I use the value that I just solved for, x? How can I use that to find RV? I don't know what RV is, but what do I know about RV? What do they give us in the picture? Look at your papers. Thank you. It's 8x plus 20. RV is 8x plus 20. And I know that x is 11. How can I find the measure using these two items? What does x mean here? I have 8 times x plus 20. Guys, remember x is a variable. It's 11. We know what x is. So can't I just replace x with 11? Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. You're going to plug that in. So 8 times 11 plus 20. So I've plugged it in. What do we do from there? Go ahead. Oh, 108. Nice. 8 times 11 is 88 plus 20. That gives us 108 degrees. That is our answer for RV. Very nice. So, in all of these problems, the hardest part can be figuring out where to start, what equation to set up. But really, there's 2 steps every time. 2 big steps. Your first step is to find x, and your next step is to plug that in for whatever value you're trying to find. Okay, so number 15, we solved for x, we plugged it in, we got RV. It's the same thing for all the rest, you guys. Okay, number 16. Same exact thing. How could I start number 16? And Alexis, you do not have to answer. You are holding this class up. Somebody else, guys. And if you're lost, you can tell me that. It's okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. These 5 questions are your exit ticket. Alexis and Dustin, I know you guys are done. You're free to go. Okay. I appreciate you guys participating. As for anybody else that is still working on these, I am a resource. I want to help you, okay? But I can't help you if you don't want the help. So, your exit ticket today is to finish this worksheet, have it filled out, turn it into me. I'm going to have you guys do these, okay? I know we can. That's what we spent the whole first hour and a half talking about, guys. If you have questions, come ask me, okay? I'm here only to help. But that is going to be it today. That's your exit ticket. Finish the worksheet. The end.